Well, being that we have a quorum, we can call this meeting to order.
Okay.
We have open time for the public. Jen, you want to speak now, or do you want to wait till we vote on the PCFs?
I can wait. I'm only here if you have questions, or,
Okay. Okay, I'm going to approve the minutes of October 22nd.
Motion to approve the minutes of October 22nd.
I will second. All those in favor?
I have a question.
Yes.
I don't have them in front of me, but I did read them. And there was no mention of our conversation about the email meeting, or did I miss that? About the update.
Yes, that was on the second page.
It was, all right, then I'm not recalling right. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm fine with it. That was the only thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so Slattery approves.
Richard, I.
Tishman, I.
Okay. Meeting minutes of October 22nd are approved. Okay, next we were going to vote on the PRFs for the treasure collector. First one is going to be for Christy Facto. It's going to be a benefited position for $18.99 an hour for 31 hours. Any questions on those? Any comments? No. Now, it is confirmed, so to speak, that Ed is the interim accountant and he's going to be signing off on these.
the select board voted on it this past Thursday night that he would sign off, that he was interim town accountant.
Yes.
Okay,
So,
all right. So all those in favor of accepting Christy Facto as the new assistant treasurer collector from administrative clerk?
I'll motion to approve.
I'll second. Sorry, Robin, it's been a long day.
That's okay. Yeah.
I keep forgetting that.
okay. All right, Tishman, aye.
Richard, I.
Slattery, aye. So Christy is our new assistant treasurer collector. You're good to go there, Jen.
Nice, thank you.
The next item is for posting of her vacancy for administrative treasurer collector clerk for a 30-hour position. Motion to approve on her posting.
Are you making a motion or are you asking us to?
No.
Did you just make a motion?
I'm sorry, yes, I made a motion to.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Go ahead. All right, Richard, I.
Tishman, aye.
Slattery, aye. So your posting's been approved, Jen, so you're good to post.
Nice, thank you. That was easy, huh?
Yes. Now, are you going to be doing the background check and all that, or who does that for you guys?
So I would have to have either Ed, I don't know if Ed has like COA do it or police, or I'm not sure
Corey?
who's doing it. What's that?
What kind of check do you do?
You do
You
get
don't
the
do
Cory
a
check.
A Cory check. I mean, we don't have to, but I mean,
It should.
they voted,
I think you should.
Yeah.
but the select board voted not to do them, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I guess
We
the
want
select board needs to figure out if they want them done or not.
I think for some positions, it would
Well,
be.
it has,
Some
yeah,
positions require it. Others, the town hall positions do not. And we tried, PPPB pushed for it and select board voted it down.
correct.
I thought it would open the door to liability. So that's where we're at. So,
Correct. I mean,
And was that, I'd have to think back if that was the advice of the attorneys.
yeah,
I
it
don't
was,
think, we wouldn't make that decision on our own. without that. It's too
Right.
important.
I think it was the advice of the attorneys. I mean, it's kind of odd because most towns do query check for all positions, but
I think
That's
they
what
all
they
do.
said.
They all do query checks as far as
Yeah.
I know.
yeah, exactly.
Well, especially when there's money involved.
Well, yeah, you're dealing with a huge liability there.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay,
All right, we might want to look at that again.
yeah. Okay. Any new business?
Not new, but questioning. When I was watching the select board meeting on Thursday, they said they asked you to bring to the next meeting or to the PPB about prorating vacation payout. Do you recall that?
I do recall that, Robin.
Yeah, we
So I
cannot.
That's
prorate
a
because
mass,
it's earned.
that's a mass law that we have to pay that out, right?
One at a time. It's earned from the prior fiscal year, so we can't prorate it. It's already earned.
So so the people who left positions just recently,
Yes.
the way I understood it is it looked like they were getting any vacation that they were entitled to in the fiscal year that they resigned. So that
Correct.
gives
But
going
it's
forward.
for the hours the previous fiscal year worked is how you earn it. You don't earn it until July 1st after working.
I
the
see,
full year.
okay, then that makes sense. Then there is no, that would be taking it back.
Right.
It's not going forward, it's going backwards. Okay.
Yeah, so we really can't address that.
I didn't look, the documents were scanned in sideways. And so looking at the dates and the hours, the way we got the material, I mean, it's different when we're doing things on Zoom. So it was not clear, looking at it. I just looked at the month and a day. I won't say that I really looked at the year, but I thought it said 7/1/20. I'll have to look back at that. Okay.
Okay, anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay, have you heard any, feedback on the,
No, I did reach out to all the department heads in regards to the rules and regulations. Is that what you were going to ask?
yeah,
Yeah, I haven't heard one peep.
I know there's a lot of things that need to be addressed in the policy. However, I am so busy, I just don't even, like right now it's just me and Christy. I don't have time.
well, this is it's a slow process in the making.
Yeah.
We just started, so,
Yeah.
we would appreciate any feedback, because it's crucial to, get this policy procedure updated and fair, legal and fair, so to speak. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I will reach out to them every time we have a meeting just to let them know. If you have
Yeah.
anything to bring to the table, please let us know. Even if they're
that's
not
all we
going
can do. I mean, we can't,
to ideas, now's the time.
yeah, I mean, we can't, hold their hands to give us any kind of feedback, so all we can do is just reach out like you're doing, Robin, so. Okay, anything else?
So how are we going to proceed with this?
So, how do you
Because
want to proceed, Chris? I mean, I had a few ideas. I think we need to have everybody put their 2 cents in and then go over it. So when we do ask to make changes, they're presented at one time,
Right.
a lump of them at one time.
Yeah. I think what we should do is continue doing what we're doing, going through it. If we have any changes or suggestions, I think we should write it down and then email it to each other so each other knows what we're looking to modify if we had to.
Sure. I mean, you could even email it to me and I can present it to everybody as a group, like for the next agenda, if you want to do
Right.
that.
So you don't want to have a discussion of the document itself together?
Well, yes, we'll have a discussion on our monthly meetings.
Okay,
We have one that's coming up on the 19th. That could be the start of it.
okay. Because I've gone through the first half of it, and I see a number of things. I mean, I printed it out, I scribbled on it, so I have notes. If you prefer to have them sent to you, but I have a lot of questions that, being new, you could probably clarify.
But
Yeah.
do you want to ask them now?
So I'll
Yeah,
wait
if you want to
until-
go ahead and ask them now, then we can start the process.
Yeah, I put it on the agenda in case anyone did have
Yeah.
questions, so we can talk about it, certainly.
Okay, I mean, for me, it would be important to go, I don't want to belabor this, but page by page.
Yeah.
That's how I did it. Just general comments. You would probably save 3 pages if you shorten Personnel Policies and Procedures Board to PPPB. Okay, it's in there so many times that it takes up a lot of space. I would appreciate, and I think everyone, the name of the select board is now officially the select board. That passed town meeting, so any reference to Board of Selectmen should be replaced. Those are just 2 general comments. Another question I had is, when we talk about boards and commissions and department heads, we never mention committees. Is that intentional? Do they have?
Well, this board is for the rules and regulations are for the employees versus the committees.
Right.
So the board or commission?
Thoughts about?
Are you talking about the school committee?
No, I'm talking about, no, there are committees. There's the finance committee. There are several committees that are just not mentioned, not by name, but when you aggregate, you say the department head, the board, or the commission, but you never say the board, the commission, and the committee. Was it an oversight, or they don't belong here?
I think it's because there's only employees governed by department heads, boards, or commissions, but there's no committees that have actual employees that are paid.
Right.
That's the reason it's.
Yeah.
The only way they would be referenced is in terms of approving, like finance committee,
Okay,
in that way.
okay. All right, and then if we could move along a little bit, I could probably get a lot of the questions answered. There are some contradictions, as you said, or some things that I think need to be clarified. When we talk on page 9 about the probationary period being 90 days, it says 90 days of actual work by a newly hired employee. And then if you move to page 26, it seems to have a different definition. So what I'm looking at here, or is it 25? What I'm looking at here is 90 days of actual work. Now, do you mean business days, or do you mean calendar days? Or if they work 3 days? Pardon?
I would say work days.
It should be work days, yes.
That's what it says, work days. But it's somewhere later, it did say it differently. That gave me the impression that it was calendar days.
Okay, so we'll have to find that.
So I'll have to find that. I thought I marked it, but maybe
Well, if you look at it either way, it is calendar days as part of work days because they're technically working on a day-to-day basis. But if they're part-time where they're only working sporadic hours, which I think we have few and far between,
So if you're on probation for 90
this is
90
what
exactly. It's 90 days.
it says. The 90 days shall include, on page 21, says the 90 days shall include scheduled non-work days, such as weekends or regular days off. That translates to calendar days to me.
Yeah, that don't make sense to me. But that's
Well, I
something
can see why that's it, because you have the fire department, you have the police department, you have the dispatchers that work the weekends. So that's considered work days. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that might have to be tweaked a little bit to clarify as far as like weekends and that, because we do have employees that do work the weekends.
Okay, we can look
Okay.
into that.
All right, yeah, because that was a question that I had. Page 16. All right. Okay, the whole thing on page 13, we talked about PCFs. And job postings, and then if I look at what is said on page 16,
This is in regards to the modified position for the PRF posting.
Right.
So
Yep.
up one way or the other, I don't care which way. I mean, if we want to be aware of every time something is posted, then we should change the wording that it's required for all positions as it's worded on page 16. If we don't,
it is, yes.
then we got to change it the other way. It really depends on how we feel. We can vote on it, how we feel.
Okay. I mean, I'm just raising this for questions. We're not for
Exactly.
discussion
Yeah,
purposes.
I don't care either way, as long as
Yeah.
it's. So,
It has to be consistent.
yeah.
Okay.
However, like, so, like, not too long ago, some postings went without a PRF, and we weren't aware of it, although we went by the policy on page 13, but we didn't know there was a posting. So what do we need to refer to when we get the PCF? I mean, is that something that we want to do? We want to know what the posting is when we get the PCF down the line.
Yes.
What was this for? I didn't know it was posted. So that would be one of the reasons to keep it the other way.
Yeah, because you have to have that backup to fall back on as to what the PCF is for.
I may not have the posting at hand to refer to when we're looking at the PRF, when
Right.
we're wondering, is that the right amount of hours? Is that the right?
Exactly, yep.
That is, yeah, that's good, Robin. Plus
Yeah.
you want to, and if, I mean, to make sure too that it was posted like as it should be, or,
Yeah, so maybe we want to remove the modified part. Wait a minute, for all new or modified. So if for all job postings, maybe we should require PRF.
Yeah,
So on page, okay. So we'll change
On
page
page
13.
13, remove the modified wording.
Okay.
I'm gonna, I'll type up everything we're talking about tonight, and all the page numbers for us all to refer to next time we're all together, just to make it easier. So what's next on your list, Francine?
I'm looking at page 14, where we're talking about the personnel records
Okay,
that you folks, that this committee maintains, and especially, I mean, under the jurisdiction of the chair. I'm looking at the contents of the personnel records, and it says, is training records, does that mean when people, is that the same thing as when people acquire new certifications for their position?
yes.
yeah, we should have copies of everything.
Okay. So you do get that. That's good
Yeah,
to know.
what number is that? Where are you reading
That's
that?
page 14,
Yeah.
under contents of records, item D,
D, okay,
okay?
all right. Okay.
And then again, just generally speaking, if we could replace everything that says chairman with chair, okay? Just to be politically,
Yep.
I don't think departments are forwarding certifications or trainings, are they?
No.
Like proof of training, like fire with, Yeah, I don't think that's happening right now.
Well, it has to be. I mean, if you're keeping personnel files, especially when it comes to HR or PPP board, you have to have that paperwork in their files, because there could be a time that you're going to get audited. They could pull a file from a personnel file and they're going to say, well, they were certified. It should be.
No, like we have it, but are you talking that it should be forwarded to the personnel board also, or?
Yeah, it should be in the personnel board to file for all employees.
Because I don't think that department heads are even aware to forward. Maybe I'm confused to the personnel board.
Yeah, they never have. There
Yeah.
was, we audited the files upstairs for Personnel Policy Procedure Board, and we got most of all licenses and whatnot for like the highway department, police at the time refused to, previous chief many years ago, refused to give us documentation, and anyone else that we really needed. But the licensing, that's important. But even for certifications, like Jennifer, she just received her certification that could go in the file.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
mean, I think of the building superintendent, they have to have lots of certifications to do their job. And in the event that that person leaves and something legal arises after the fact, we need to have that documentation.
Yes.
And even like fire EMT, they get raises throughout the year based off of new, certifications.
I know it used to require them to attach certification. To
Yeah.
it. I don't know.
So if I could just add, I mean, training records is one thing. I think if we insert the word certification in here, that might be clearer to people.
Yeah.
Training, certification, and licenses,
That's fine. Yep.
Yeah.
hoisting and whatnot, that
Yeah.
type. Okay. Page 14. Okay.
Okay. Then on page 15, we talk about release of information. I get that all we do is confirm a person's employment and not any other information. But what if someone lists someone as a reference? Who does that letter of recommendation? Does this cover a letter of recommendation as well? When it's requested by the employee who may be leaving?
What are you saying?
Yeah.
We don't have, so that would be on their application. Do we have the applications? I don't know where they go. If,
And I'm talking about one of our employees
a recommendation from,
another member of the town staff when it's requested, because this basically limits it to verify employment, period, according to this. And I'm just asking a question, in the event that someone requests a letter of recommendation from someone that they've worked with, how does that get covered?
if it's within our town employees, I would say a verbal between department heads suffices.
No, I'm talking about if someone leaves the town and goes and works somewhere else.
So you're talking about their new employer that's looking for a
Right.
recommendation.
A reference, right.
If it's a glowing reference, go ahead. If you can't say anything else. All you can do is say they worked here. So you cannot say anything negative, nothing.
Okay.
That's the law. They worked here, yes.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, if it's a good recommendation, go at it. If you want to help them out, I don't see any issue with that.
Okay. And then further down on 15, the last paragraph, it talks about notifying an employee within 10 days of placing in the employee's personnel record information, which is in regard to their employment, promotion, all of that. It doesn't say how they're notified. In
Okay.
writing?
Add in writing.
Okay. Okay.
Page 15.
Yeah.
All right. And then just trying to follow this paper trail here on page 16, we're talking about new positions, the PRF, it's initiated by the department head. It's initialed by the accountant. It goes from the accountant to the PBB to finance and then to the select board, correct?
Yes.
That's the process. All right. The finance committee, however, is not involved. When I look at item B on page 17, they're not mentioned here. I guess they wouldn't need to be.
Yeah, they're not involved with the posting, just
Okay.
the financials. Do we have money for?
Okay.
And actually, we have the town accountant. I don't know that finance needs to be signing off when we have an
I
accountant.
don't understand that because,
Yeah, it just delays it,
Yeah.
honestly. But
we might want to look into that because if the accountant's signing off saying that there's plenty of money in the department's budget for this,
they're doing the same thing.
they're going to do the same thing. It's redundant.
It is, and it would be really nice to do something to eliminate the time for the passing of these PCFs and PRFs because, I mean, right now, like with, the admin clerk position, before I even have someone in the office, it's going to be like December. And, and it's hard. It's a long wait. And I mean, it's already an approved position. The money's already in the budget and it's just dragged out.
No, I hear you. I think that's probably makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then on page 18, we're talking about reference checks. They sign a release, obviously, to allow us to contact their references.
Well, they're putting on their application. I don't know if that is a release, but they put references on their application.
Okay. All right. And then the next paragraph, we talk about query checks. There's no mention here of volunteers who may be either working with children or seniors or people with disabilities in the town. It's not specified. I know you have no jurisdiction over them if they're not employees. I get that part. But
There should, I'm sorry, there should be a query check. You're talking about a liability, whether it's a volunteer position or not, especially when you're dealing with the children and the elderly.
So then I think that needs to be in here. Volunteers.
No, this is an employee handbook, not a volunteer handbook.
I understand that.
Why we would put it in here.
Well, where else do we have it documented?
It's your town bylaw that you've been working on.
All right, I'll look at it that way. I'm not sure we get into.
Do we have a lot of, I know we have, the one volunteer in town hall, we have, like, who are the?
No, like me, I'm a volunteer.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And I will, I've had occasion to drive people to medical appointments and things like that. I had a query check.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just wondering where that is
Oh,
documented, because it should be.
Because you volunteer for the COA?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. And then I think this is kind of like my last thing, or next to last. If I look at the next page and we're talking about appointments, where do consultants fit in? I know they're not employees. They're kind of like
Vendors.
contract special.
Those are considered a vendor.
So that's a vendor, so there's nothing in here that covers that. All right. Okay, then page 21 is covered. That was it then.
Okay.
Very good.
All right.
I mean, I had a couple of suggestions that we had talked about prior.
I did see the
holidays. Go ahead, Jed.
Sorry, Robin. I was just going to comment on your suggestions. I saw the suggestions
Go
in
ahead.
regards to the floating holidays for employees who don't actually, work on Fridays, right? And then also the closure for Christmas and was it just Christmas or?
Thanksgiving Eve and Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay, yeah. And I think that's a good idea. I think that would definitely, just little things like that help to increase employee morale. And right now it's really bad. I mean, there's a lot of employees who are, just not happy. I mean, they feel like, and I think that their rate of pay, it's a lot lower in Southampton than most municipalities in our area. So if we can just offering little things like that, at least that can help, maybe keep people around, just little things sometimes keep people happy.
Yeah.
I don't know, just to try to, but I think that's a good idea.
So we would have it in this rules and regulations, what, a noon dismissal or noon closing or something like that?
Yeah, part of the holiday policy.
Calendar. Okay.
Page 30.
I didn't get that far, but yes,
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you that would be a good thing to do.
Yeah, we could have it closed. I don't know what your thoughts are. 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock.
Most places are usually between 12 and 1. Like where I work, it's 1 o'clock. We work from 8:30 to 5, but the holiday prior, we leave at 1.
Yeah, it'd just be nice if the select board doesn't have to vote every year and it's different every year and people have something to plan. They're able to plan, I should say.
I think that's fair. I think that makes sense.
Okay, so I'll recommend like a 1 o'clock closure for those 2 holiday eves.
Okay.
Christmas Eve and Thanksgiving Eve.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And the floating holidays, I don't know what everyone's thoughts are on that. Like Christmas this year, people aren't getting paid for it.
That was in the prior policy. They used to be paid for it, and it was removed when they redid the policy in 2016. I don't know why, but I wasn't there then.
Yeah, I mean, we can change the wording because it says employee, let's see. It's if they work on the day the employee is ordinarily scheduled to work, they get paid for it. So if it's not your normal work day, you don't get paid for it. So I would like to take that out and add in a floating holiday or observed. I mean, it's easier to do a floating holiday. People may not even take it, so it's not financial, or they can use it like a personal day within the fiscal year.
Now, which of the holidays are you talking about following on a weekend?
If they happen to fall on the weekend.
Any of them?
Yeah, any of them. So maybe up to 2 a year, if that. This year, it just happens they fall, boom, boom, boom. It's
That's what I'm thinking, that could be a hardship for the town. Not because we're paying people, but because absence from work and we don't have the money to bring other people in to help. So that would be a lot. So my thought would be that we recommend a couple of holidays and designate those if they fall on weekends, that then people are given floating holidays. But that's I mean, the whole committee, this is your thing. I'm just putting in
Right,
my,
we'll vote on it. It's just everyone's suggestions.
yep.
So I think that because, my opinion, like our policy book does say that you get paid for these holidays.
Right, it's conflicting.
And then sometimes but then if you don't, if I guess it falls on a Saturday because you don't work on Friday, right?
Chris,
I mean, I think this year has been the biggest I've seen so far with 3, right? There's 3 Saturday holidays this year.
I'm not sure. I just know Christmas
And New Year's.
and New Year's.
But also, like Francine, I don't know if it will make you feel any better, but there's very few people that don't work on Fridays, so it wouldn't affect, like it's not going to affect highway or police or dispatch, or it's really only going to affect like maybe a library employee and the employees in town hall. So it wouldn't be, and the employees in town hall, if we're out, they're not replaced with another body.
I understand.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I didn't get that far into the document. I only got up to like page 25. So I'll go through that for whenever we have the next discussion.
Okay.
But all in all, this is pretty comprehensive, and I mean, it's just amazing to me that you have all of this responsibility and we don't have an HR department.
We need one. We do. There's one thing I wanted to mention too. The extended accident and sickness plan, we have to reword it. The part-time should say part-time benefited. So it's only people that work 20 hours or more, not part-time people. So that's just like oversight, but we need to add it.
Okay. All right. I see that Kristen has left.
She just messaged me and said her computer's restarting.
Oh, okay.
Back on, I guess. If not, we'll finish up here.
Yeah.
I will type everything up and send it to everyone so they're aware. Did I miss anything? Discrepancies. Oh, interim. We want to reword that. What page is that? Ooh. So right now, interim, if you want to be an interim anything, you have to already be employed. So do we want to reword it, or are people satisfied with that and just be a temporary? The temporary is a limited amount of time. So I got to find the page.
I did see that somewhere here.
Page 9. So I mean, an employee who is already on staff and is filling in for another position. So it's not necessarily, it could be any position. And our departments are limited to employees, so no one's filling in, really.
Yeah, it would be like, say the assistant accountant was still employed and hadn't left, and when Vicky left, she could take over Vicky's duties as interim. It's pretty much, I think, what our policy says now.
Yep.
They should be compensated. Well, yes.
I think it says that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's taking on extra duties, but I don't know how we want to reword that. We need to look at it.
It's calls for a stipend as opposed to a salary adjustment.
That's different.
But I do remember when we had an interim town administrator for 2 years.
Exactly. They weren't an employee, so they're kind of like not complying with the rules.
Right.
So you change what they're called, interim or temporary or acting. It does say interim acting. So that's something we need to think about.
Yeah.
Leave it or add something else. because there is definitions for temporary employee,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
you have a technicality on the wording.
right. But I remember now what it was. I was on the finance committee. We had a temporary town administrator
Mhm.
who went on for 2 years, and every 12 weeks we had to sign another thing.
Yes, yes, I recall that. It went on forever.
Yes, it did. I mean, we had to do what we had to do if we had no one else for the position.
Right.
But, okay.
Yeah, so those are major things that really stuck out to me. I mean, we can certainly keep looking into it, ask for suggestions. Anything else pops up, what I'd like to do is type this up. We can all talk about it one more time. We can put it out there to be voted on, and then public hearing, so we can move on this. Things
So
that
what
need-
I'll do is I'll send you my notes by page, okay? I'll
Sure.
write them out, all right?
That's good.
I guess Christie's not having
Okay, yeah, I don't think she's coming back.
okay.
So if everyone's comfortable, I can adjourn the meeting for her.
I'm fine.
Okay, let's see, our next meeting's November 19th. It's a Thursday, our normal meeting. And motion to adjourn,
I move to adjourn at 6:41.
6:41. Richard, aye.
Tishman, aye.
We're done.
Okay.
Good night, everybody. Thank
Good
you. All
night.
Okay, good night.
right.
Thanks
Bye.
for meeting.
Bye.
Thank you.
Oops.
I don't know how to exit this. We're still on
What?
camera. We're still on camera.
No, I know.
How do you get out of these meetings?
Just say leave meeting.
There it is.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you later.
Bye, Robin.
Hi, Jennifer.